Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about some ways that you know when it's the right time to cut someone off. And by cut someone off, we mean,
Distance.
distance yourself from them. It doesn't matter if it's your friend, your family member, a work colleague, someone you're in a relationship with. Like if these events are happening, that person is not conductive to your own growth and to your benefit, and it's time to start putting distance between
Yeah,
you and
there
them.
there is no reason to continue a relationship even if it's blood, if they are stealing all your joy from your life, right?
Yeah, or if they're otherwise harming you, right? Even if you're not necessarily aware of it. And so these are some
I've had to
things.
do this with a lot of my family.
Yeah, yeah. So these are some things to basically just keep in mind, to know when it's time to distance yourself. And I guess that doesn't mean you necessarily need to like cut them off entirely. It just means that you want to put some more space between you and them, right?
Yeah, not everyone's like me that goes cut.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You're dead to me.
yeah. Okay, so with that being said, the first one is if they get in the way of your growth. I guess just picture like what you want to accomplish with yourself and your life.
I
And
would, yeah, an example of this. Say you're going on a new diet and they're constantly like putting cookies in your face and telling you you need them, and that they would be insulted if you didn't take one, like guilt tripping you and constantly, and you can't lose weight.
yeah, and I have a great example of this too. This is why I needed to cut my grandma off. She
Shut
was
up.
she was always telling me I was too skinny and I need a second piece of pie. So I mean, she's just gone now.
He's lying.
Yeah, I am, but I thought it would be funny.
I think it's a good example because when you hang out with a bunch of people that are eating a bunch of fried food and they give you shit constantly about changing,
Yeah, and they
like,
just
is the
don't facilitate.
relationship worth it? Like, do you guys even have common goals anymore?
Yeah, yeah,
I
I
don't know.
agree. And I guess we should mention this now. If you notice just one of these things, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to distance yourself. A lot of these things you can work on; they're repairable with some communication. But the more of them that you see, the more of a red flag it is, right?
Yeah, some people like have like Aldi's and they're like a walking red flag, right?
Yeah,
They're just like toxic energy that
yeah,
oozes out of them. And
yeah. And other times they might do these things unintentionally, which again is where communication comes in. So with that being said, the next one would be if they're always gossiping about you. This reminds me of like high school.
or the fitness world online.
Yeah, or yeah,
Jesus
even
fuck.
better example. People always
Like, I'm
like
always getting screenshots of like people saying stuff about me, and I'm like, I haven't even talked about who are they?
like they
I
blocked
don't
me
even know.
they blocked me a year ago
I'm
and
like,
they're
they're
still
still
talking.
talking about me.
Yeah, if people gossip about you or just talk behind your back, then yeah, cut them off because those people are toxic. Like
Well, they're usually like going to be envious of like anything that you accomplish anyways.
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah.
just something to cut
They're
off.
they're out to get you. Why else would they feel the need to talk about you instead of just doing their own thing? Like they have a
Or
bone to
bringing
pick.
it to your attention if they have a problem with you,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Another one would be kind of related to that envy thing would be minimizing your accomplishments. Like if you are accomplishing, it doesn't matter what it is. If you feel proud about accomplishing like a goal that you had set and other people just like are constantly
Well,
downplaying
I
those
did this.
accomplishments, that
I had a friend like that once, and they would, every time I would do something, they would tell me what they did better.
yeah,
And
it's
I'm like,
like you don't need that. Like you don't.
okay, I know, like, we can talk about your stuff too, but
Yeah, exactly. Like congratulate someone when they do something well.
that's like an ego play times 10 too, like
Yeah.
trying to do that, overshadow your
Mhm.
friends'
Yep.
accomplishments by your own.
Yep. I agree.
Like, it's like, I need to be seen as number one.
Yeah, and the next one related to that one is when they downplay or overshadow your feelings. Like, hey, I'm having a really tough day. I feel really sad right now. And it's one of two ways. It's either like, oh, you don't know what sad is. Let me talk about myself. Or, no, you're fine. Like, that's not a big deal. Like, your feelings are invalid. Um,
Yeah, and that comes along with like setting boundaries too.
yep. Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, and I guess that's a good one. That's another one is if they refuse to honor your boundaries, right?
Well, I think
So
that's downplaying feelings too.
yeah,
Like it's the
yeah,
same thing. Like
okay,
boundaries
yeah,
are,
I could see
this
that.
makes me feel uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
And if they're like, no, that shouldn't make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree completely.
I mean, they can bring up an argument and maybe they're right, but if they're constantly disregarding your feelings and boundaries, I
Yep.
think that's a big issue.
Yep. And another one is if they're constantly pushing you to think like they do.
Oh,
This
yeah.
one actually deserves some context because, for example, let's say you have like a mentor, right? And so the goal of the mentor is to teach you how to think critically about a certain topic and to learn more. So obviously
Because
you're
they're an
going,
expert.
yeah.
There.
So obviously you're going. Their goal is to try and mold your mind in a certain way, right? So then I don't think anyone would classify that as a bad thing, but this gets to something we brought up in past videos about intolerance. If someone is intolerant of the way that you think and they constantly push you and put down the way that you're thinking about something in favor of the way they think about it,
especially if
yeah,
it's like such a subjective topic, like
yeah, exactly, then you don't need them in your their life, right? Hands down. I think religion would be a good one for this. People are
yeah.
religious, right? And so if let's say you are religious, if someone's constantly just trying to, if someone's just constantly poking at your religion, explaining why it's illogical, and then it's like, yeah,
Oh
no
yeah.
reason to get around that.
Yeah, I've had so many friends that are stupid religious on their like whatever their belief system is, and I'm like not like that at all, and I just won't address it because it's not important to my
Yes,
friendship with
yeah,
them.
exactly.
Like it has no bearing on whether I'm their friend, what they believe in as far as a higher power. Like,
Yeah, yeah, and
I don't
again,
care.
uh, I want to bring up that it has to be like chronic, like just always hammering on it.
Yeah,
Now,
one or two like
if you're poking fun,
debates.
yeah, or if you're poking fun, that's fine. I mean, that's usually what friends do is they poke fun at each other, right? I know I've done that with friends in the past where like we hold beliefs not even just in religion but in whatever, and we get poked fun at for certain like maybe logical inconsistencies or humorous stereotypes. And
Yeah.
I mean, you got to know when it's, time to laugh and when it's time to say, okay, you've been doing this too much. And
Well, you
it's,
can tell by their demeanor too,
yeah,
like
that's
if
a good
it's
point.
ill
If it's
intended.
in joke or not, or in jest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that might feed into the next one, which is that they just straight up don't support you. Right. Like, and the reason I say it feeds into it is because someone can poke fun at you, but ultimately, like, that they support whatever you're doing. Like
Yeah.
you know when people are supportive of you. And then there's people who don't. And they might not necessarily try to bring you down, but they're not helping build you up.
They're a waste of time.
Yeah, exactly. They're a waste of time. And then the last one I would say is when people expect you to do all the work. This could be in a personal relationship, a business relationship, or a friendship. You're basically the one who's pulling the cart and having to do all of the heavy lifting to get things done between you.
Yeah, I'm kind of bad about that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I apologize to my friends that have stuck it out. No, I'm super introverted, and so they kind of have to like force pet me. That's what I say. Like they have to
They force pet you.
Yeah, they're like, "Come, I love you."
Yeah.
And so, I mean, context needs to be taken in with all these.
Or yeah, I guess like friends will come visit here
Yeah,
because
and
we don't
I
leave.
feel guilty though.
Yeah,
I
I know.
do. I do, but that is like context, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yes, and so context, like you know when someone's just along for the ride and when it might just be like part of their personality or something, in which case you're tolerant and expectant of certain of them to be like that.
Yeah, but to a point, like,
Yeah.
I mean, when I say this, I'm not like a complete asshole that doesn't return calls and
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's always been like that in my life that my friends make a lot of effort to socialize with me because I don't need that social interaction that they do.
Yeah.
And so it it
Yep.
feels like very uncomfortable for me, but not for them. They need that because they're extroverts, right?
Yep, that makes sense.
And so they seem like they're doing more of the footwork in the big picture, but it's just, it takes me a lot more energy to do
Yeah.
what they're doing.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yep. And that's it.
Okay, well, yeah, that's it. So awesome. If you like this video, great. Give it a like, share it with someone who you think would benefit from this information. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.